Hi everybody, Ralph Havens here. The Autoimmune Solutions, the free video series is up and running today. This is video number 4. This is the 4th video in this series, the last video in this series. But not to worry, I will be telling you a little bit about how you can continue with me with video sessions and some really cool information for you. So I'm excited about today, and I will tell you about more stuff as well as we get going. So now, today, as I was setting the session up for you, for this session today, I wanted to do something really big. So today's going to be an extra special session for you, and like always, I like to have you test things, you know, your range of motion, how you move, how you walk, how you feel, so that a little bit later you could retest. And I also like to have you think about, like we did in the first video, what you really want. What you would really want in life, what, if handled for you, would dramatically improve your life. So you might take a moment and just put a little mental note on, oh yeah, I would really like this. It'd be really cool if this could happen. Wouldn't it be great if? And get your intention there. And then you can let it go. And then we can check and see what's different for you after this video. And I mean immediately afterwards. So you can retest your neck range of motion, your back, your shoulders, and walk around and see what's different. And then over the rest of the day and the rest of the week, see what's different and notice what you notice. Because what I've noticed with this work is lots of stuff can change. And if somebody gets over autoimmune conditions and chronic conditions with this work, other stuff starts happening. And you've heard some of the stories of people whose lives have transformed and changed, not just with the physical things they wanted to change, but also lining up more with their heart's desires and what they really want to do in life. So I was thinking about you all today and reading through your emails and your survey questions, and thinking about you and what you want. And I had lots of thoughts racing through my head. So thoughts of people maybe having pain their whole life, and things like it's just getting worse and worse, or the meds aren't working, or the doctors aren't working, or just not being able to do stuff with your family, doing less and less with your family and kids. The kids just thinking of you as the sick one, or the one that can't do everything that the rest of the family can do. Everyone else seeming to get along with their life, and you're kind of on hold maybe. So being anxious and depressed, and thoughts like, it just can't be like this. It wasn't supposed to be like this. And believe me, I can relate to that. I've told you the stories of myself, with what happened to my health a couple of times, and then what happened when we moved into this house and having to sleep outside and dealing with all sorts of new challenges and problems. And that idea of it wasn't supposed to be like this, I get that. So, what would it be like to dream what you really want to do in life and have it come true? To live a life where you were really living. And I know you still want to do life, and I get that from the emails. So it's just that your body might not be working. Some of the health concerns, the autoimmune conditions, chronic conditions, mysterious conditions that people haven't been able to figure out. Belly's hurting, joints hurting, the allergies, the autoimmune stuff, doctor visits, alternative practitioner visits, medications, supplements, trying to get on the internet to figure things out, and just being tired, beyond belief. So I actually get that, and I've been there, and I found a way out for myself, and I've seen people solve these kind of conditions with this work. So I was thinking about you and setting up the space for the session today, and I thought, what would it be like for you to have a pain-free day? A whole day pain-free. To be able to go for a walk with your friends and family, go on vacations and be able to participate in the vacations, exercising and feeling good, being able to sit in a chair, any chair, being able to walk for 30 minutes and then walk again for 30 minutes and then walk some more for 30 minutes. To have the energy to do stuff, to be able to play with your children or your grandchildren or your nieces and nephews, to be able to keep up with the family. What might that feel like for you? And to have real health, to actually overcome an illness, to have that be something in the past. What might that be like? So I know the kind of peace that I had and the knowingness that happened, and some real epiphanies around what I was to do with my life started showing up as I was going through my own challenges and learning how to solve them and helping other people solve them. I was seeing more and more how a lot of these challenges were training for me to get to a level where I was doing more of what I really wanted to do in life. And I know with the clients that I've seen and others that when they interact with this work and solve these autoimmune conditions and the chronic conditions and the mysterious conditions, magic stuff can happen. Epiphanies can show up and real world changes can happen, and people can change their where they live and their job and the way they interact with the world and what they're to do. So it's not for me to say what you're to do, but I do notice that people start lining up more and more with their heart's desires as they interact with this work. So I don't want your body to be the thing that holds you back. So imagine if your family no longer thought of you as the sick one or the injured one, and your kids or spouse knew that, looking back on your life, if you go fast forward to hopefully many, many years from now, and looking back and going, wow, that was a life that was really worth living. That was a life that was really lived. What would that be like? And I know I think about that. Some people think it's a little funny to think about death and that sort of thing, but I think about it, and I think it's a useful thing to be able to fast forward and look back and go, how do I want to have lived my life? And if it's something like an autoimmune condition or a chronic condition that's stopping you from doing that, I want you to know that I've seen how to help with that. I've seen how to solve that. And while I don't know a lot of people on these video calls, and I don't know who else is going to be watching, and I can't presume to say, who's going to get well and who's not, and that anybody might get well with this. I can't say that. And so I have to put that out there that, I don't know who's going to do the work that I recommend and who's going to show up for sessions and who's going to do the recommendations that I recommend. But I do know that what's happened with me in my life, and I know what's happened with a lot of my clients. So I can tell you those stories, and I can tell you that there is a way out, and you can heal from your conditions. As you think about this, you might want to think, what would it cost you to not fix this? When I was when I was a kid, and then when I was in my teens and 20s and 30s, I always felt like there has to be an answer for my anxiety and that sweating issue I talked about in the first or second video. There's got to be an answer for that. Like, I can't be 80 years old and still dealing with this anxiety. Like, that's ridiculous. And so I knew there had to be an answer. And what would it cost you to not find your answer? There is an answer for you. What would it cost you to not find it? What kind of extra pain and frustration? What might you miss out on? In the next year, in the next 5 years, the next 10 or 15 or 20 years? What would you miss out on if you didn't solve this? The pain it might bring, not just you, but those around you who were just like, oh man, I wish he could do something, or he could do something. Maybe not being able to be with your kids or your family as much as you'd like. So the important thing is to, did you get to live the way you wanted to live? A life that was like, oh, yeah, this was a life. So I wanted to put that out there because what I've seen is there is a way to do this. And what we're going to do right now is a big session for you. So what you can do is, whether you're sitting in a chair or you're down on your bed or kind of reclining on your couch, you can just relax and you can open your eyes or close your eyes. And much like we did in the first video, first let's just go to where you want to go. So just go to, if you were to have solved any kinds of chronic conditions, mysterious conditions, autoimmune conditions, what might you be doing? So you can go to that feeling state now. You can go notice it, feel it, pop yourself right into the middle of that. And what does it feel like? And that feeling or that thought of that desired life, that desired outcome, where exactly is that? By that I mean, is it in front of you? Is it somewhere in you? Is it over to the side? How do you know it's there? And what does it look like? What does it feel like? Is it moving? Or is it still? Is it big or is it small? Is it in color? Or is it black and white? Where is it? And now, with you in it, you might want to put yourself into that scenario, that scene, and consider if you were to have had that for 5 years, that life, what might you want now? And go ahead and notice that. And where is that thought or that feeling in space, like right now? Is it in front of you, behind you, in you? Are you in the middle of it, or are you looking at it? I'm going to notice that. And then I'm going to notice this. So we're going to go to the pure form of what that is. It is pure and it is formless, but it is. And what I notice is a pattern that's changing even as you sit there now. So you can notice differences even right now and over the day and days, and know that something changed for you. And even though there's things that have happened and conditions that you have, your unconscious now knows what to do. And as it does that, you can see a difference. Well, and by seeing that difference, you can also notice that there's something that's formless that your unconscious now is referencing, noticing from, as this changes for you. Wow, so things can be different for you now. And if there was no rush, and you knew that it actually was already done, where might you look now? And if this puzzle was already solved, now what might you do? Letting go of grief, sadness, despair, profound stillness. You know, as I was setting up this series a week or two ago, getting this ready for you all, I was telling my wife some of the things I would be getting for you. I call them deliverables, what you get. And my son was there. He's 5.5 years old. And he said, Papa, you forgot something. And I said, what? What did I forget? And he said, love. Isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth? Yeah, so now your unconscious now is coming to the front, and this stuff is now in your past. It's something you've gone through, and it's been useful, but it's no longer, it's been done for you, so that you can notice something different. And all this stuff that looks like problems, you can now look at it from over here, and it doesn't seem as significant anymore, really. It doesn't seem like a maze anymore. Okay. Yeah, and as different things go in different paths, what's left is this. Windows. And then windows. Noticing this. Yeah, and so what I notice is what looks like a process or stuff, and there's like something might be called not so good, and stuff that looks like, oh, that's good, and it feels like a bunch of it feels like life, but there's something else that's right here for you. Something palpable right here for you. And let's have some fun. Okay. Okay, so now if I were to be able to talk, what might I say? Okay, so you might notice what you notice, and notice what's different now. And notice what's different over the rest of the day, and the night, and your dreams, and tomorrow, and over the week. Ooh. And notice how it keeps being different. And if you didn't need to keep noticing it the same, what might you notice? Now, in my 32 years of doing this kind of work, I've literally seen miracles. And to say they inspire and amaze me is like, it's so much more than that. And and I've got miracles that are so beyond belief that I don't even I hesitate even saying them. I've said them before on video, but I even hesitate sometimes to say it because it just seems so incredible. But I've seen people's lives changed in an instant, and I've seen people's lives changed in an hour, and I've seen people's lives changed over the course of an online session and even over a video. And people have emailed me, and those emails are on my testimonial page. I'll leave you the link to that. But just know that stuff can change for you. And this is where I tend to do my online sessions. I sit right there with Yoda and get online with my computer and do sessions. And you know, over the years of doing this work and learning, I've taken so many classes. And like I've said before, you know, I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars since graduating from physical therapy school for my work. And my sister, you know, used to ask me why I work so hard. And I felt like, you know, if somebody were to come up to me at the end of my life and I'm like about to go, and someone I care very deeply about, and ask me, hey man, what do you got to say? You've got like a few seconds left. And I actually did this exercise a while back, and what just popped in was, did I, to tell that person just to live, to really live. And so when I do look back and see, why did I do so much work? Why am I doing so much work and putting things out there and putting myself out there and taking classes and doing this? What I think is, this is what I do to make a difference. And I've gotten to see people's lives change. You know, I've seen one woman who I did it was like a 10-second session, whose life literally changed. An autoimmune condition shifted for her. She found a boyfriend, then he became a husband, then they had a baby. She got very healthy, and she went from being unable to run very much, you know, lots of tiredness and stuff, to where she started running ultra marathons and then started winning ultra marathons. And that was all of just a very short session at the beach. And I've seen, like I said, the lady that had the rheumatoid arthritis that no longer has any of the symptoms of it, doesn't have the medications of it, doesn't have the doctors of it. I've seen, like we talked about the last time, Matthew Castillo, who, you know, his shoulder and back got significantly better, but also his fears of getting on with life shifted. And he said, you know, his life has changed, and he decided to move a few states away and actually live with his girlfriend and start living his life in a bigger way. So I've seen, working with a family, a mom and a couple of kids that were in their 20s who were going to college and unable to pay for college. I thought I was working on headaches and necks and backs and knees. And within the next week or so, they got college paid for unexpectedly. So I've seen people changed in the family when I wasn't working on the family. I was working on somebody else in the family, and a different person had a big shift. So it's the kind of stuff that lets me know that there's something bigger going on with all of this. And so what happened a couple years ago with me, I do these free consults. And if you haven't had a free consult with me, you know, I recommend it. You can totally talk with me for about 45 minutes, and I'd be happy to let you know what I see. And I've been doing these for quite a few years. And I have lots of people that come see me, and we have big changes, and I love seeing people for periods of time. And I'll leave you a success story on email, because somebody, a woman wrote me a beautiful success story, so I'll send that to you over email. But as I was doing all these over the years, there was quite a few people that, you know, they had all these conditions, autoimmune conditions and chronic conditions, and I knew that if they just did the things that I was recommending, they could have a real chance. I've seen it change before, and yet money was an issue for them. So a couple years ago, I decided, you know what, wouldn't it be cool if people could have a session once a month for like $20, and it'd be a group session online from all over the world, and they could have a real change and be part of a group, and you know, each month have something that can really change them. So 2 years ago, I started that. I called it Miracles, Magic, Healing, and More. And I know a lot of you might be on it. I know there's some of you on it. And so it's been great. And as I was getting ready for this free video series to help you, the reason I was doing this was I thought, there's other things in the real world too, that if the people just handle certain things, and we've talked about some of them, like going gluten-free or not putting toxins in your body or having natural ways to detox. And we're going to talk about more in just a moment. This is a pretty big video for you today. If people did certain things, and it took, coming in every so often, because you just don't just change something and get a new habit overnight. There's a bird out there on the window, which is a significant sign for me. And hello, bird. So that's funny. So you guys are being too serious. Yes, I get it. So anyway, so I set this up for this video series to give you more of that kind of information. And what I'm doing is I'm launching a way to do this so that you don't have to be left out after this video series, to be able to interact with me for not a lot of money, and where you can get a lot of real help. And so I've created this plan to expand this Miracles, Magic, Healing, and More sessions once a month. And so what I've done is, you've got part of it. I've made some PDFs of what to do to detox and naturally, and what to do as far as getting rid of toxins. And what I'm going to be doing is creating more videos, little 3 and 5 minute videos of the different components of how to eat, and the different components of how to detox, and different components of how to use your mind and your mindset to shift things, so that you have a whole bunch of pieces of the different components needed to help you change. And then I thought, well, that's cool. And I have a book called Enlighten Up and Get What You Want, an ebook that I made that was basically my training manual with all my study. I put into a very organized way of, here's how you do it. And it's what I used to get to where I wasn't devastated from having to live outside and fix up my house, to where I shifted things, and I got a good life, and I have a practice worldwide, and I've got a great family, and we're having a new baby, and things are working. And so it's the stuff that I used, and I put it into a training manual book called Enlighten Up and Get What You Want. And the actual book is actually set up so that simply by reading it, you could have a shift. So if you were to check your emotion before and after reading the book, you could see a change. So I put that in there, and then I decided, what I want to do, something special, is I'm going to have, instead of 1 session a month, for the month of June, I'm going to have 3 online sessions, and you get to keep the videos. And I'm going to do 3 online sessions in July, and you get to keep the video. And all still for the same, a little less than $20 a month, because I really want to make it a no-brainer for people. I mean, when you have something that can shift, and there's certain things to do, there's a bit of the showing the universe that you're all in. So you got to take at least some step to do this. And so by having this option open, you can do this for a little less than $20 a month. And I keep mentioning the price, but it's been one of the things that's been a stickler for people. The other thing that's been kind of interesting is, the reason I did this was because people would, if I had 1 session with somebody and told them some of the nutrition things, the detox things, it was too big a hurdle to jump. It was like too daunting, an idea to change this much in a diet. And even though it's not that much to do, it's just that it's different. It is something that is useful to do over a little time. So I wanted that kind of way to interact with you and have a little time to go over the detox things and the diet things and the mindset things, and to do more of these energy medicine sessions. So that's why I did this expanded version. And it's going to be time limited, because it's going to have a registration that's going to close on Friday at midnight, because I'm going to be then getting everything ready. And in June, we're going to be starting with the extra sessions. So it's something to do. If you want to do this, it's something to do now, because we're going to be closing registration Friday. And And so that's what I've got going on. So, so just to review what you would get if you decide to do this, it'd be once a month online sessions right from here, and then you would get to keep the video. June and July, you would get 3 sessions, and 3 in June, 3 in July. The Enlighten Up and Get What You Want training manual book. You would get some extra 3 and 5 minute videos of all the different components of how to do the nutrition and the detox and some of the mindset stuff. And then I've created a Facebook group that's just for this group. So not for my big groups or anything like that, but just for the people that join for this Miracles, Magic, Healing, and More. Because I'm going to be looking at that every day. So if you have any questions about gluten-free or something in the mindset world or something about detox or something about a poison or a toxin, or how would you detox this, or can you tell me more about how to remove fluoride from the water, or any kind of questions, you can always get that answered. And then everybody else can see the questions and answers too. So we'll have a whole list of really cool stuff so people know how to do this. And then the extra piece that's I'll tell you about the extra piece in a minute. Yeah, so like I said, so when you think of the price, just to go over that again, it's going to be a little under $20 a month. It's $19.97 a month, and it's a membership thing. You join, and then you can be on it once a month. If you wanted to pay all at one time, then the membership for the year is $197. So it's $43 saved if you do it that way. Now, of course, money back guarantee, absolutely money back guarantee. If you don't like it for any reason, first 60 days, just tell me, I'll give you all your money back. And of course, at any time after that, you can cancel and be done with it. But I think once you get into it and see how much more can change with this work, you'll see how useful it is to have this community and to use it. But if for any reason you don't want it, you want to stop it, you want your money back, just let me know. And that's absolutely a promise for you. Now, when you think of the price, my 1 hour rate to see me for 1 hour is $250. And so, for the price of less than one hour with me one-on-one, you can have this for the whole year with all the bonuses. And if somebody were to see me 12 times, I have a package for 12 times to see me, it's $2,100. So to see me 12 times once a month, and then get the extra bonus sessions in June and July, and all the videos and the book and the Facebook thing and everything else, $197 for the year. I think that's something, if you can do that, that seems reasonable. Now, I wanted to tell you one more bonus that I have for you. One of the things that I haven't shown you, and it's a whole giant body of work, and it's been really a big part of my success, my abilities, my way to tap into the infinite, is something called Wisdom Healing Qigong. It's the work of Dr. Pang Ming from China. In China, it's called Jining Qigong. And I was fortunate enough to meet and then study with Ming Tonggu for many years in San Diego, and then he moved to the Bay Area, and now he has a center in Santa Fe. It's CHICENTR.com, chicenter.com. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful work. And I use it every day. And some of the most powerful healing stuff in the world is these sound healing technology that is part of that. And it's something that I literally use probably 4 or 5 times a week, and sometimes more. And giant changes. I've done it as much as 18 hours, 20 hours before, because I drove from San Diego to Bellingham, Washington, and did it pretty much the whole time. A couple of times I did that. And I drive to work, when I work in town in my office, 30 minutes one way and do it all the way there. And I do it because it makes powerful changes and gives very much access to the infinite. So that and some other mind-body methods from this Wisdom Healing Qigong are what I personally use to keep my body working great and to keep me connected to spirit. And so I'm going to be, and I've talked to Ming Tong before many years ago. Can I use this? Can I put this out there for people? You know, of course, giving him credit. And he said, yes, wonderful, wonderful. He says wonderful when he talks to me. And so I'm going to put little snippets of each of these different exercises and sound healing things, so you can either play it on a loop, or you could just memorize it, and I'll give you the phonetics. I'll give you an email with the whole thing about it, but and give you the links to where you can get it yourself if you want to hook up with Ming Tong Gu yourself. But that's going to be an extra bonus, because it's something that I use, and it's one of my secret weapons or whatever. It's like, I think if I just did matrix energetics and just energy medicine stuff, and even the integrative manual therapy and just working on myself, it wouldn't be quite the same, because I think there's something about going through the body and getting the body really healthy and really clear, and the channels really open. And Qigong is, you know, thousands of years old, and it has a field of information and energy that's so big. So tapping into that ancient wisdom is kind of like tapping into the ancient wisdom of the nutrition that I use and the detoxes that we use. So very powerful ways to work, and it would be an extra bonus for you. So if you want to join us, this is going to be open till next Friday, and again, it's $19.97 for a month, and I think that's very reasonable, of course. And $197 if you want to just go ahead and go for the whole year. You always get your money back if you don't like it, and you can stop anytime you want. But I hope you join us, because you can do this. And if you have any questions about any of this, just email me and let me know, and I'd be glad to talk with you. So again, this goes for the next week, and I will see you all soon. I'll send you a few emails about it. And go ahead and go down below, and there should be a button on this page to click to buy either the $19.97 a month option or the $197 a year option. I look very forward to seeing you, and that's it for now. So this is Ralph Havens signing off, and really, let's go out there and live. I mean, really, really live. Thank you, everybody.